Dad's promised me a musical treat. Though what mountaineering's got to do with it, I'm not quite sure. If he starts singing The Hills Are Alive with the sound of music, I'm off. Dad? Dad? Oi, what are you doing down here?
It's all right for you young'uns. I swear Brandon Hill's like one of those Icelandic volcanoes, you know, it's rise up out of the sea, because it's definitely higher than when your mum and me used to come up here back in the olden days.
What you used to come up here for?
Well, a lot of people used to come up here for courting, but we used to come up for the view of the docks where we both came from, see? Yeah. Because there was always lots of music venues down there, whenever you got sailors and dockers and that, but they've all gone, but the music venues are still there. So I'll tell you what, why don't I take you around to some of the places I used to play years ago and introduce you to some of the real sort of music I used to do.
Riley, Riley, where are you?
Oh, Riley, old man.
All right, Dad, I'll come with you, but on the condition that you come with me and I show you some of the music that I listen to that's on the docks these days.
Yeah,
Deal.
okay. Fortunately, it's downwards. It's Queen Square, this is. Lovely area, I used to play here when I was a little boy. Turn left up here, that'd take us into the Grove. Grove, when I was a lad, is where all the sand boats used to tie up, and they had huge piles of sand there. I think there's a boat there now called the Thekla. I recorded some Radio 2 folk music programmes on here.
Well, I don't think they play this on Radio 2, Dad. This is your first introduction to house music.
Oh, sounds nice, Dave.
We heard that you were the oldest jacker in town, Fred. As we say. So we hope to see you on the dance floor when it all works. These are 2 turntables. So we take 2 records, house records. This is the mixer. This is where it all goes through.
What sort of music are you into generally?
Basically, it's house music in all its forms, shapes and sizes, which goes from original disco and New York style garage into house, both deep and more uplifting with a vocal on.
I was doing like Radio 2 broadcast down here with live music.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever seen anything like this down here. It's interesting, to see that you are doing creative things with what I'd regard as something pretty
Mixing isn't
mechanical.
just about playing other people's records, it's about creating your own set. See you on the dance floor, Fred.
Well, it's all very jolly, I suppose, and the young people do seem to be enjoying themselves and getting lots of exercise. Not quite my scene. This is, though, a beautiful summer evening on the docks. I feel a shanty coming on. What? Well, that bicycle ride along the quaysides unscrambled my brain after the house music last night. Time to introduce Hannah to some proper stuff. Public house music, traditional style.
I wonder what he's got planned in retaliation for me taking him down to the Thekla. I've got a nasty feeling it may involve a sing-along.
Now you're going to love this. This is a real old traditional pub with a folk music club that I first sang in 30 years ago. So here's your chance to listen to some proper traditional music and have a good old sing-along.
I don't really think this is going to be my kind of scene, Dad.
Well, they serve some wonderful old traditional beer. Do you want to do that again, Kit? Yeah. Bristol has a brand new breed of salty Sunday sailors. They're highly cultured, well-dressed chaps with hardy Amy's yachting caps and voices like loud hailers. Their Gucci canvas sandals don't get much chance to dry. Now the only sea they see for sure is the sea of beer on the yacht club floor and the mud that's in your eye. So weigh the anchor, yo-hee-ho, and off to the rolling sea.
I'm doing my best. I'm trying to enjoy it. I really am.
Down the hatch and cheerio on the good ship GMT.
The spirit of adventure unabated swiftly runs, with several other spirits too, through the veins so young and true of Bristol's newfound sons. To Nova Scotia we'll set sail, westward lads we'll steer her. But look, here's a pub that bears the name, so what the hell, it's all the same and 3 or 4 weeks nearer. So weigh the anchor, yo-hee-ho, off to the rolling sea. Ready about leave-ho, time for slaughter when we go. Down the hatch and cheerio on the good ship G&T.
Oh, very satirical. I want to get out of here. I've got a feeling it's not over yet.
Riley, Riley, where are you?
Oh, Riley, old man.
Riley's gone and I'm going to.
Goodbye, my Riley, oh.
Riley, Riley, please come home.
Oh, Riley, old man.
Riley's gone to London town.
Goodbye, my Riley, oh.
The anchor is weighed and our rags are well set.
Oh, Riley, old man.
Those Badian beauties we'll never forget.
Goodbye, my Riley, oh.
Goodbye, my sweetheart. Goodbye, my dear.
Oh, Riley, old man.
Goodbye, my sweetheart. Goodbye, my dear.
Goodbye, my Riley, oh.
Riley, Riley, where are you?
Oh, Riley, old man.
Riley's gone and I'm going to.
Goodbye.
Nah, that's real water music.
Ahoy there! Any chance of a lift? Anywhere? I'm not fussy.
When you've had it up to here, can't afford a pint of beer. Your head goes down, your shoulders slump. What can you do? The pier jump. When you just got to get away, can't stand it here another day. You're out of luck, you've got the hump. What can romantic names: Caracas, Odessa, Macau, Conakry. There's a place for you and me. Worst things happen at sea.
This is the very end of the city docks before it becomes the river and then the sea and then the ocean. And sometimes in the old days, when a ship was coming through here on its way out, a lad would leap on board and sign on at the last minute, called the pierhead jump. Sometimes he'd be getting away from domestic trouble or the law or just for an adventure. And I met an old chap who'd done the pierhead jump when he was 14, and he was in trouble at school and he just got on this boat. He didn't know what it was, where it was going. Turned out to be a whaler, and he didn't check the return ticket either, because it was 2 years before he got back. Sometimes, of course, they wouldn't come back at all.
No place like home, you come ashore, but it's no place to be once more. It's worse than before, you're down with a bomb. What can you do? The pierhead jump.
This is all very civilized, Dad.
Well, I thought you might like a nice little break from all the hustle and bustle and sweat of the showbiz world and dashing around the city. Little oasis here. It's lovely at the Swallow Hotel. You come in, you have a nice cup of tea, and you listen to some nice civilized piano playing.
Good, isn't he?
Ah, well, it should be, because Arthur used to lead some of the biggest bands in Bristol. Years ago in the 60s, he had a 16-piece down at the Grand, and he ran the band up in Clifton, and that was, well, it was like where it was all at in them days.
Happening venue.
Yeah, a happening venue. Well, if you want to know what happened, you better ask your mum all about that, because she used to go there, see.
I think from an early age, with a dad that was a performer and was always singing, and a mum that was a jazz fanatic, and me being quite a little poser at the time, so I'm told, it was only natural that I should start singing. So I started off singing classical at school, and then obviously having a mum that was very into jazz at the time, and my granddad as well, used to listen to all her records, and she taught me several of her favourite tunes, and then started taking me to the Old Duke, being friendly with the resident jazz band, used her influence and asked if I could sing with them, and that was at 15, and I'm 25 and I'm still singing with them now.
Have you ever seen a church begin to rock? Heard a Sunday deacon preaching to his flock? Have you ever seen old Satan on the run? Then follow me and see just how it's done. And have you ever heard a sermon stir your soul? Make it preach the religion as you go. Have you ever felt as though you like to shout? Then come on and let those feelings out. Oh Lord, just hear those sisters moaning and hear those brothers groaning, repeating and intoning on revival day. They're talking to the spirits, just like you see and hear it. They're simple and they fear it on revival day. When the congregation starts to sing, nothing in the world don't mean a thing. Glory, hallelujah, makes you feel so peculiar. The devil, he can't rule you on revival day. Hymns are purifying, wash my sins away. I feel just like a lion, I'm reborn today. Just hear those sisters moaning and hear those brothers groaning, repeating and intoning on revival day. They're talking to the spirits, just like you see and hear it. On revival day, when the congregation starts to sing, nothing in the world don't mean a thing. Glory, hallelujah, makes you feel so peculiar. The devil, he can't rule you on revival.
My mum asked me if I'd like to sing Summertime, which is her favourite tune. I learnt it mainly for her, but once I'd started singing it on a regular basis, I absolutely fell in love with it. It's such a beautiful song.
Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, your wings and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there ain't nothing can harm you. With mommy and daddy standing by. Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Your dad is rich and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Well, there we are, end of the first show. So what do you think about music on the waterfront?
No, it's been great, but not too sure about the sea shanties.
I'm not mad keen on that house music stuff either. But the jazz was great.
Yeah, and it was a nice cup of tea.
Was indeed. Lots more to come.
Oh, I hope so.